everyone. Welcome to sixth grade literacy. We have all the sixth grade literacy teachers on the same call because we're on the same page about what we're going to be doing in literacy this year. The first thing that we're going to do is introduce all of us, and then we're going to talk a little bit about how our class operates and the resources that you're going to have and the different programs that we will use. Again, this is just an introduction, and the first week of classes, we're going to go way more in depth. So first, my name is Mr. Matt. I've been teaching sixth grade literacy at DGS for 4 years, 2 years at the other campus and 2 years here, and this is my 9th year of teaching. I absolutely love teaching literacy, and I love books too. My favorite book is Cloud Atlas by David Mitchell. I'm also really passionate about art, and I run our GSA here at the school. Fun fact, I have an Italian Greyhound that you may see jumping around in the background of classes often. Mr. Chris?
I'm Mr. Chris. This is going to be my second year at DGS Northfield and my 20th year of teaching altogether. Really love putting myself in the place of the learner because I will always be learning. My favorite superhero is Batman. And I really enjoy watching my sprinklers as they water the lawn.
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss Brooke. This is going to be my first year at DGS and my second year teaching. A fun fact about me is that I worked on a goat farm, which is exciting because DGS is the goats. And I also love reading a lot. I've read 20 books so far this year. Quarantine definitely helped on that, so I'm really excited to meet all of you guys virtually.
Awesome. Thank you, Miss Brooke and Mr. Chris. So our first unit is called our Seed Folks unit, and it's all about understanding who we are as people and how we interact with a community. And so we're going to be reading a novel called Seed Folks, which is about a community garden in Cleveland, Ohio. And then as we're reading that, we're going to be exploring a little bit about who we are as people and our own identities, and then how we work within a community, the DGS community and also the Denver community. And we'll learn a little bit about community gardens as well. So, Mr. Chris, do you want to talk a little bit about what our class schedule is going to look like? And I'm going to pull it up here on the screen.
Yeah, we're going to try to, as Mr. Matt's pulling this up, keep our class schedule pretty much the same, and it's going to be dependable so that students will know what to expect on a daily basis. Students can expect at the beginning as they log in that there will be a do now waiting for them as we take attendance. After we have given out directions, we'll complete the do now and kind of transition into going over the day's objective and where we're going for that day, how it connected to the previous day. And then there will be a mini lesson. It'll probably be pretty brief, where we're given modeling or going over what we need for students to work on. Then we'll do a little bit with them in the guided practice so that they have an idea, and then on to independent practice, which could be by themselves, but we're also going to try to leverage the breakout rooms that Zoom offers so that students will also be able to get to talk to each other a little bit about the work that they are doing. And then to wrap up class, there'll be an exit ticket where we get to learn what they learned and just kind of give us a great amount of information on what we need to do the next day. And then there'll be a little bit of 5 minutes. So they'll be able to stretch their legs before they head into their next class.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chris. And now I'm going to quickly show you what Google Classroom looks like. Specifically, we're showing you what our online learning class was last year, and it's going to be very, very similar this year. And so on our Google Classroom here, on your screen, you'll be able to see all of the classes that you have. These are the classes that I have. But if you were to click on your online literacy class, the first thing that you're going to see is the stream. And whether you're in my class or Mr. Chris's class or Miss Brooks' class, it's going to all look very, very similar. There'll be one thing on the stream every single day, and that's going to tell you what we're doing for that day. And so it'll say like, hey, we're really focused on chapter 1 of Seed Folks, and we're going to be learning a little bit about plot today. And so it'll give you a little bit of an introduction here. Then if you toggle over to your classwork, what we do is we organize everything in order of how you're doing it. And so there'll be the day's date right here at the top. It'll say exactly what it is and then the question. So, for instance, this was May 26th, but there was a do now question. So if we were to click view our question here, this might be what the question would look like. So this said, what worked well for you on online literacy? And then we had a number of questions that you would have to answer as the student. And then if we also continue to look in literacy, each unit that we do will have its own title. So if we wanted to go back to what we did in a former unit, you could toggle down to that and look. But we will also have a few other things here. One is our reading logs. So we have an expectation in middle school that in math and literacy, you are going to have a little bit of homework. But it's not too challenging in literacy. All you'll need to do is read for 30 minutes every single day. And the reason that we have this for homework is because our research shows that independent, regular, sustained reading is the number one thing to increase literacy growth that you can do. And so we assign that for homework, and you will get a reading log every week that'll be due on Fridays. And all you're doing is typing a short little summary about what you read and recording how much you read and the amount of time that you did. You could read for more than 30 minutes. It's only going to help you, but our expectation is just 30 minutes on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, so not the weekend. The other thing is we do formative assessments on Friday, and we use a tool called Common Lit. And Common Lit's a really cool website. I'll show you kind of the home page here of what Common Lit looks like. But what we're able to do is send out texts that you can annotate, that you can actually have read to you. And then there are some questions about reading and writing that come with it that allow us to track your growth on a number of standards throughout the rest of the year. And so you'll get these on Fridays, and this will be the core of your work on Fridays, is just simply completing the assessment so that we know how well you're doing and growing throughout the entire school year. Mr. Chris and Miss Brooke, did you have anything to add about Google Classroom or Common Lit?
I would say, just as a reminder, to make sure that you're logging into Google Classroom every single day. That's going to be your hub to know how you're doing in literacy. It's your avenue to check in with your teacher to make sure that you're on track.
So Miss Brooke, would you mind telling us a little bit about how we will be communicating as a team with students and families and how they could get some extra help if they needed it?
Yes, so hopefully you guys got comfortable with emailing last spring when everybody went virtual. We're going to be using emailing a lot. That's the best way to reach any of us, and that's how we're going to be communicating with you and your families. If you send us an email, we're going to try our best to get to it within 2 business days. So that means days where we have school. So if you send it to us on a Friday, we might not get to it until Monday, but we are going to try our best to get to emails as soon as we possibly can. So it's really important. It's going to be really important for you all to check your emails and to be advocates for yourself and send us emails when you have questions, since we're not in person and you can't just stop by our room anytime you want, unfortunately. And then the other thing you should know is if you need extra help, you all have a study hour at the end of the day. Unfortunately, I will not be available for extra help during that study hall because I'm going to be teaching gifted and talented, so some of you might be seeing me then for that, but I will make myself available as much as possible during our class time, and I'm also going to look for other times where I might be available to help you all. But Mr. Matt and Mr. Chris will be available during study hall for you if you need extra help on any of your literacy work.
And that's for our classes and for Miss Brooks' class. Anybody can come in.
I can talk a little bit about grading and participation and what that looks like in our class. As you all are probably plenty aware that students will get out of any class, including literacy, from what they put into it. That's why it is really important that as we participate, you make sure that you are logging in every single day, showing your face when available. It is our hope that we try to connect with students, and seeing their faces is helpful if possible. This year, our school, as I'm sure you've heard from Mr. Jaquette, that we are going to be giving out work completion grades, and that is going to be you guys will be able to check that on a weekly basis from Parent Portal. So I just want to encourage everybody to make sure that they have access to and are able to go into Parent Portal, because that's going to be another avenue for you to check your son or daughter's progress.
Great. Well, I just want to say thank you all for tuning into our video, and we are so excited for an awesome year of literacy growth. We can't wait to learn and grow with you all and be advocates for your academic development. So in the meantime, if you need to reach us, please send us an email. It's just our first_last name at denvergreenschool.org, and that's all available on the website. We'll also be sending out introduction emails in the next week and a half or so you'll have it that way. We can't wait to connect with you soon.